is there anything that marks itself as a beginning of a change in any of that process? I mean, 20 years, 25 years is a long time to be at it. More than one spell inside, I'm assuming, from what I know from your story so far. Yes.
Well, it's not about not wanting to do it. You know, you wake up in the morning in addiction, but you know, and it was the heart-sinking feeling of the despair overwhelming you, because you know, kind of when you're asleep, it's a place you want to be. You know, the oblivion, and it's when you're coming round, and it's like, even before you open your eyes, you think, oh shit, I've got to do everything I did yesterday again today. And that is the horrible thing about addiction. It's every day the same thing, same crime, the same people, having to do the same desperate things and living the way you do. You know, it's like heroin's not, you know, diamorphine isn't particularly a dangerous drug. It's used all the time, but you know, but the street stuff and the delivery system, and then of course the lifestyle that goes along with it. The problem with it is if you're taking drugs, you're instantly a criminal. And that's a tough place to be, especially when you're so. And as for you know, kind of when did the change come about or something? I wasn't aware that you could change. I came from a town in Cheshire where you didn't get clean. You know, you had two options. You died or you became alcoholic. They were your options. And a lot of my friends, well, they did both. You know, in fact, the two of the lads that I started with, the two, one has died and one has become alcoholic and close to death. So you didn't know you could change. You didn't know there was a way out. I think that's why, you know, I love working with people like the North Wales recovery communities and all the other guys in recovery that we work with, because they do a lot to make recovery visible, and that's so important, especially if you don't know it exists. So it wasn't the fact that I didn't want to, I didn't know you could, and then I certainly didn't know how to, because people that went to rehab, well, they were football stars and they were movie stars. And, you know, they weren't the average smackhead on the street, which I was.
Yeah, I'm going to just get back into that second, but you mentioned that bit about how much crime took over, and it struck me the other day that you were doing a lovely share that I'd asked you to do to a very different group, and I love the way that you shared your DBS. So for those who don't know what that is, but that's when we've got clean and we're in recovery and we're starting to do work, we have to go and get our police check, and you know, so this is your police check record. And I remember you dropping yours to the floor and it bouncing up and down, and saying to people, look, that's my CV. That's why I know what I'm talking about. So it struck me that it was one of the longest I'd seen. Like, you know,
I might not be a recovery expert, but I'm certainly an addiction expert.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting. Yeah, so I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I think people think that there is a process or a moment of change. You'll hear drug service always talk about people wanting to, you know, they're either motivated or not motivated, and sometimes you can appear appointments, and actually it kind of assumes that all that stuff's going on, rather than it. I think what else it's about: luck, moments, opportunity, people you meet. So what happened for you to slowly get your way out of that, or was it an instant getting out of that? Because by the time I met you, you were certainly at least having a go at that. I know you did have a relapse afterwards, but you were having a go at it, weren't you? So what led to making some change?
Desperation, pain.
Okay.
I mean, pain is the great instigator of change. When it hurts enough, I'll do something about it, whatever that happens to be. But I've got a very high pain threshold, it turns out. You know, what I put myself through over those years, you know, I've got holes all over me still, I've got tracks, I've got, I nearly lost a leg twice. You know, Sarah Flynn, our good friend, she remembers me in the hospital bed. That's where she met me, in Bangor Hospital, with, you know, a leg the size of that, and then wanting to put a stent in my heart to keep me alive. You know, that's how I know Sarah, and she didn't like me very much back then. And I guess I didn't myself either.
And that's physical pain. Did you have a reasonable high tolerance for emotional pain about the other stuff you were doing to yourself as well? Were you just
when you've been on it that long, from such a young age, really?
Yeah.
You don't know how not to do it.
Okay.
I remember going to my last rehab, and I was in They asked me, what do you want to do? I said, just show me how not to use drugs for one day. Just give me a day clean, because I hadn't done one for a very, very long time. One day without drugs, and especially not their drugs, because they want to give me methadone. And I count my blessings a lot of the time that I couldn't get into services around the UK, because that's all they wanted to put me on methadone. And the amount of times I had to get back onto heroin to get off methadone was unreal. That's a side issue. But I was in awe of a guy called Jimmy who had done it, who was a Scouse guy. He had COPD, and I was very jealous of him because he went to rehab a day before me. And I was looking up at him like he was, the shining beacon of hope for recovery. He's like, you've done a day. How? And I was like, how have you done a day? I just didn't know how to do a day. So it wasn't. So I just didn't know how to do it. I just didn't know how to do a day clean because I'd done it for that long. I didn't know how not to take drugs.
Which, of course, now.
Oh, don't be under the impression. I might be 9 years clean. I'm not 9 years out of addiction.
No, I wasn't suggesting that. Apart from anything else, I think you might be a little bit obsessive with filmmaking from time to time. So.